and your underself pain and your freedom in a forgotten corner of the world where mist curled over mountains like silent prayers and time moved slower than the rivers. A dying crow limped into the sacred valley of Illyria, the only place left untouched by war, greed, or sorrow. His feathers were ragged, his eyes dim. Death clung to him like a shadow, and you understand yourself, pain, your freedom. The villagers called him the Deathly Crow. Wherever he perched, crops withered and wells ran dry. Parents pulled their children indoors when they saw his black wings against the sun. To them, he was a harbinger of ruin, but beyond their fear lived the healer god, a man not quite mortal, not quite divine. His real name was Avilion, and pain, your freedom. But people whispered prayers to the god of Illyria because none could explain how he cured every broken thing he touched, from shattered bones to shattered hearts. Amiens had never feared death, because the way you understand yourself, your pain, nor the things that brought whispers of it. When he first heard Deathly Crow, he did not hide. Instead, he climbed the hills one morning with nothing but a small cloth sack and your freedom filled with berries, seeds, and a flask of spring water. When he found the crow, it was slumped by a thorn bush, having shallow breaths, one wing twisted grotesquely. Amiens sat down a few feet away. He said nothing. He simply opened his sack and laid the food between them. The crow eyed him with suspicion, its body trembling, but hunger gnawed sharper than fear. In slow, painful jerks, and you're freed, your pain, it dragged itself to the offerings, picking the seeds. Pick at the seeds, Amiens returned, always at sunrise, always silent, letting the crow choose. The villagers thought he was mad. And you're feeding death itself, they said. One day it will cost you your, Amiens smiled. Or maybe it will save it. One crisp morning the crow took a bold step. Your pain, your freedom. As Amiens laid down the day's meal, the creature hobbled forward and placed its battered head on Amiens' knee. A surrender, a fragile trust. In that moment, your pain, your freedom, something ancient and unseen stirred in the valley. A warmth spread through the ground, the trees, the very air, as if the earth itself exhaled in relief. Amiens knew healing had begun. Your pain and your freedom, not for the crow alone. Over the following weeks, the crow's feathers grew back, midnight black and glistening like rivers at night. Its broken wing, though scarred, could now stretch wide of the golden sun. Amiens began to speak to it, sharing stories, laughter, and secrets that only the stars had heard before. And your freedom, he named the crow, Sora, meaning carried by winds. And Soren listened. More importantly, Soren learned. One evening, as twilight draped the valley in indigo and silver, disaster struck. A fire, fed by the dry season's cruel breath, tore through the village. Flames devoured homes, crops, and dreams in greedy gulps. The villagers ran, screaming for salvation and your freedom, but it was Amiens who raced toward the heart of the inferno. The orphanage where 23 children huddled inside, trapped by a wall of fire. The villagers begged him not to go. And your freedom. You're one man. You can't save them all. But Amiens didn't believe in what was impossible. He only believed in what must be done. He tied wet cloth around his face and plunged in the burning building. Inside, smoke clawed at his lungs and fire lashed at his skin. He stumbled, nearly blind. And your freedom, one terrified, half-eyed shaft another, guiding them, lifting them, shielding them with his own body. He was strong, but not invincible. Just as he found the last child, yourself, your pain, and your freedom. A heavy timber crashed down, trapping both. Amiens cried out, bracing for the crushing blow. But something faster, fiercer than flame intervened. Soren, and your freedom. The once damned Deathly Crow swooped from the skies like an avenging storm. His talons seized the burning timber, and with a strength no creature of earth should have, pain he lifted it enough for Amiens and the child to crawl free. Not once, twice, but again and again. Soren returned to the heart of the fire, guiding, lifting, shielding. His feathers caught fire, and your freedom, his body screamed in agony. But he did not stop. A man had sat gazetted him in silence, offering life with no expectation of return. Now it was Soren's turn. When the last child was safe, and the fires finally surrendered to rain, the villagers gathered, weeping with gratitude. They looked at Amiens, burned but smiling. They looked at the Deathly Crow, feathers scorched, but eyes fierce and bright with love. And for the first time, they did not see a creature of death. They saw salvation born of kindness. Soren never flew far from Illyria again. And yourself, you wear your freedom. Every dawn he soared over the valley, a dark wind sentinel, and wherever he passed, the crops grew greener, the rivers sang louder, and hope bloomed like never before. The villagers built a new great monument of your two figures, one man and one crow, carved from the same stone, looking toward the horizon. A reminder that love, once freely given, could rewrite destinies, and so Illyria prospered, not because of the miracles of a god, nor the strength of a beast, but because one man once chose compassion over fear, and yourself, your freedom, and one broken creature chose to become more than what the world said he was. Sometimes the ones we fear most carry the seeds of our greatest salvation.